Welcome everyone. I'm the hero to enjoyed by Pink. Say something, Pink.
Something.
Hey, people know that I'm not talking to the voices in my head this time.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's just us because
W is asleep right now,
yeah, we
probably.
I I upped his dosage a bit too much, turns out. Anyway, so yeah, it is the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode 215, I believe.
Something like that.
But so, Pink, is anything coming out on your channel?
I'll definitely have Dead by Daylight coming on the channel. Outside of that, I don't think I've got anything, but you never know.
Yeah. As for me, uh I had a setback in that the character art that I've been using for the reviews, for the 4 reviews that I'm working on right now at the same time, is well, I made it like 4 months ago, and I have actually improved the art since then, and it was bothering me.
Nice.
So, I had to go back and remake and make a new character sheet, and I have to re-edit all of those reviews.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean it's only a problem for one because two of them I have it set up in my editing software is I just have all of the reviews separately in their own tracks. So they technically the full videos are there. I just needed to change the change out the old pictures for the new ones. So that was less of a pain in the ass. But turns out one of them got deleted. So I'm gonna have to re-edit that whole video. All of it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then one of them wasn't being edited yet because I forget what I was waiting on, but there was something that I was missing that I needed for the review. So yeah. So the two of them need to be edited completely from the ground up. Two of them are done and up on my channel, but unlisted as of right now because I'm still putting on the finishing touches on YouTube's side, which is to say that I'm trying to make subtitles work, but YouTube makes it a pain in the
Right.
ass to actually try to do subtitling. And then I'm also trying to get like timestamps for the chapters, but for that I need to actually watch those videos. And while I have technically watched those videos, I don't look at the time code while I'm editing them or watching them back for proofing that it's fine.
Ah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the video just to make sure that I can actually put time codes up and all that. And then I may send them your way for just to make sure that they're actually fine. Because like uh technically you saw one of them, but I actually like so much was wrong. Like aside from the one issue that you pointed out, I don't if I remember correctly, I re-recorded the audio for it as well, just completely because I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. My like, oh yeah, because I changed the script, so I had to re-record the whole audio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, you've seen half of the reviews that I'm working on, but you actually haven't because it wasn't these takes. Because I had to edit the script for some of them.
I see.
So yeah, and that's pretty much where my channel is. Oh, also, I did actually shoot like an update video, but I'm still gonna have to edit that sometime. And I just didn't really feel like editing in the past 2 days.
Understandable.
So yeah, how things are gonna be going on in my channel is that I'm gonna edit the announcement video or whatever the hell. I'm gonna edit that, see how that turns out. If it's shit, I'll probably reshoot it like 4 more times. As is with like genuinely, I could open up my folders and I could tell you how many times I had to re-record just the Spider-Man and the Sengoku Basara reviews. I think the Sengoku Basara review has at least 12 or 15 takes that are saved, and I don't save all of the takes. So
Fair.
that should tell you about
Yeah.
the amount of times I had to restart this video.
Uh-huh.
Like I really have a problem with trying with perfectionism and trying to make things perfect because obviously I'm flawed. Whatever I do will turn out flawed. at best and shit at worst. And there's only so much I
Yeah.
can do to prevent that. But I can't fucking accept it for some reason. But yeah. So what I'm planning on is putting up that announcement video, and then on the same week, the first review will come out. But I will need to decide which review it will be, and then I will schedule the following reviews to be weekly, and I will also in the background continue production in further videos, so that I actually have a backlog, because it would be
I
nice.
like it.
It would be nice to
Yeah.
actually upload consistently again. It's been 4 years,
Yeah.
Pink. 4 years since I last uploaded consistently on my own channel. Like legitimately, there was 1 year where I was consistent with my uploads. 2018. That's it.
Yeah, that was just a little while ago.
Yeah. So yeah, that's for my channel, and then for the group channel, we have episode 6 of Spider-Man PS4.
I like it.
Then the last no, I'm wrong. Whatever. Part 10 of Dead by Daylight. I thought it was the last episode of what we recorded so far, but no, there's just like a week's worth of absence for a reason that we'll find out next week, I suppose.
Aha.
So yeah, that then on Friday we have W and I playing Hitman 2, the first part,
Ooh. Very
where
nice. Very nice.
we set in motion the whole thing of me like falling ass backwards into success somehow.
Falling ass backwards into what now?
Success,
Oh.
not success. We don't fall ass backwards into fellatio yet. Yet.
I should hope not.
That's. I mean, is falling ass backwards into fellatio a reach around? Or am I thinking too hard?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in the field.
I mean, isn't that why you want what you want the Nintendo Switch with, though?
Maybe.
So anyway, Pink, what did you do this week?
What did I do this week? Oh, let's see. Let's see. I watched the Royal Rumble 2022 edition. It was all right. I didn't love it. Um, let's see. Highlights of the night for me were the actually, honestly, the mixed tag match between Edge and Miz with Beth Phoenix and Maurice. So obviously, four very good workers in that match. Well, we'll include Maurice in the picture because she's not great, but she's a great character. But yeah, that match was phenomenal. They also had their world title matches. Didn't really care for either of them. I really liked the Shield throwback that Seth Rollins did, but the match itself, I thought it worked in parts for me. In other parts, it didn't quite. It kind of missed the mark, in my opinion. I thought there were too many times where it felt like after a big move, they would just go into no sell because they were trying to like get over the fact that they used to be tag partners. So like in one section of the pardon me, one section of the match, Roman Reigns hit his spear on Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins, just a couple seconds later, he does kind of a sit up with his fist put out, going for a fist bump. Like, come on, brother, give me the old classic Shield fist bump. And I'm like, probably shouldn't be doing that immediately after a spear, but you do you, man. You do you.
Yeah. Did he reverse a spear into the blackout, though?
He did not. He reversed one into a pedigree, though, and I thought that was nice. Yeah, no blackouts. Not in a couple years.
But yeah, because it's banned.
It was actually unbanned for a little while. I remember that much. But yeah, I don't think he's actually used the curb stomp. Not to my recollection, since he went to his Monday Night Messiah gimmick, which actually is Friday Night Messiah now because he was on SmackDown. So, wow, way to kill his gimmick by moving him to the other show. But yeah, enjoyable match from those two. Then we had Brock and Bobby. Not bad given you know the two guys who are working the match. Obviously, just kind of a setup for the Mania match between Brock and Roman at Mania. So we weren't going to get much out of that, but still an enjoyable big man fight. Um, let's see. None of the mid card belts were on the line last Sunday, to my immediate recollection. Who even are the champ? Yeah, they weren't on the line because Shinsuke's Intercontinental Champion. He was in the Rumble, and Damian Priest is United States Champion, and he was also in the Rumble. So no mid card title matches or swaps there.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought they retired the Intercontinental and the U.S. Championships.
They might as well have. Shinsuke hasn't defended that belt since September of last year. And Damian Priest, just kind of floating around doing nothing with his championship. It feels like they're vacated. It feels like they're nothing at the moment.
They should give Shinsuke the US belt and then give him the Jimmy Wang Yang gimmick. He's a West taboo.
I love it.
Like he still does his like trademark stupid gimmick movements, but he's also just as a cowboy.
I love it.
And then they call the Kinshasa the bullwhip.
Bullwhip. Yeah, that would be perfect. Let's see. The Rumbles themselves, I was, they're always enjoyable to watch. I was disappointed with both outcomes because obviously we had Ronda Rousey coming back. I despise her very existence, so I wasn't happy about that. And then we had Brock win the other Rumble because, of course, we did. Why not? So, yeah.
MMA fighters won these Rumbles because we are UFC.
Yeah. Welcome to UFC. They're still relevant, right?
Remember when CM Punk went and got his shit kicked in or whatever and then left?
Yeah.
Remember when Jack Swagger went and got his shit kicked in and then left?
Jack Swagger is actually undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, and he never competed in actual UFC.
I don't remember. I just remember that he was like, I'm gonna go be a freaking MMA fighter. And then the next week I hear, I am no longer an MMA fighter. Okay, cool.
Right.
And then he went on to wrestling like AAA or whatever, not AAA, Lucha Underground.
Yeah, he definitely was in Lucha Underground. I don't know if he was champion. Yeah, I know that much. I couldn't remember if he actually wrestled in a Mexican promotion out because Lucha Underground was like a taped television series, so I don't know how long that. Well, I know he wrestled there. I don't know how long his contract, quote unquote, was to perform over there, so I don't know how long his stint was. And he must have done something else in that time because everybody in Lucha Underground, more or less, was working double duty in several other companies. But, maybe Swagger didn't. He's obviously with the MMA thing at that point.
Jack Swagger pulled a recruit and he was simultaneous the Lucha Underground, Impact, and WWE at the same time.
Maybe. We don't know. We can't prove otherwise. What was I talking about? The Rumble.
Yeah, the Rumble.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Rumble matches. Again, didn't like the outcomes. I thought the men's Rumble was a tad bit weaker than the women's because they included a lot of tag teams in that match, and that kind of breaks any sense of.
I mean, isn't that kind of all they have though? Like they fired all of the singles competitors. Now all we have are the Usos.
Yeah, they did fire a lot of singles competitors, but there are still several singles guys that are still on the roster that didn't make an appearance whatsoever on this show. We've still got Drew Gulak and Balor.
Finn Balor is a myth. He doesn't exist.
At this point, you might be right. But we still got several.
Finn Balor was not in the Rumble because he's been secretly going back to New Japan to wrestle as Devitt again.
He might as well at this point, honestly. But yeah, very disappointing men's lineup because again, several tag teams, and you know they have no chance in hell of actually winning the thing, so that destroys any illusion. Um, they had a lot of other goobers in there that obviously stood no chance. Final, who was even in the final four? It was obviously came down to Brock and McIntyre, which is nice, but not nice. I believe Shane McMahon was in the final three. I don't remember who that final fourth person was. I guess it's not particularly
The Big
relevant.
Show.
No. Um, Eternal big runner up, Big Show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
how are they going to eliminate him? He's just so big and show.
he is a big man. He's a big show. That is for true. Let's see. Riddle might have been that fourth man. Great showing by Riddle and Randy Orton. They're obviously always very good at what they do. Uh, no other standouts from the Rumble. Kofi botched his elimination spot again and was out in 20 seconds. So that was, you know,
Which isn't even really his spot,
that
because
was
didn't
Kofi.
Morrison do it before him?
Yeah, Morrison did it before him, but he only did it once or twice. And he obviously
Kofi's
left.
yeah, Morrison only did it once or twice, and Kofi only still has a job because he can do it usually.
Right. Sometimes he's botched it 3 times in the past 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe he doesn't want to do him anymore.
He's just not good enough to do him anymore. Legit, a
All
year or
of the
two
pancakes
ago,
weighing him down.
a year or two ago, they did a backdrop to the outside, and he was supposed to land on the steps. He hit the steps, and then he fell off the steps. But because he kept his feet on the steps, they kind of let it slide, which I hated because that's just dumb. Yeah, your ass and
I
your
don't know.
back are flat on the ground right now, and maybe the back of your head smacked it as well, which would have hurt. But because your feet are still on the aluminum steps, we'll
I
let it
mean,
slide.
to be fair, Pink, that's like nitpicky rules bullshit. But like technically, the rules say that both of his feet must touch the ground, and then he is eliminated. So if his feet didn't touch the ground,
Right.
but all other parts of him did, then he technically is still in as long as both of his feet don't touch the ground. Like
Yeah, why don't other people do this? When they get smacked to the outside, just keep your legs up in the air. It'll be
yeah,
fine. It'll be
I mean,
fine.
like the thing is, according to Royal Rumble rules, you could be hopping around on one leg outside after being eliminated without being
Yeah,
eliminated for a couple of minutes.
absolutely.
Then you would be DQ'd, but you could get back
Yeah.
in.
No, you won't be DQ'd. It's fine. Nobody's been DQ'd in the Rumble since '93. Come on now.
But yeah, but they want you to believe that they can be DQ'd.
Do they though?
I don't know. I recently saw the 2000 Rumble and Kai and Tai kept running in, and I don't know why they did that to Kai and Tai.
Yeah. I, who took that nasty spill to the outside where they got
I
dropped
think
on
it
their
was
face?
Taka.
I believe so as well. Yeah, he got wrecked in that Rumble. Poor guy.
Yeah, and I get it. I get that they weren't respected by like the higher ups and shit. But like, why keep this like? I didn't get why they kept sending them out after the Rumble has already been stopped because of Too Cool. But at least that was an actual spot because Rikishi still eliminated both of them.
Yeah.
So like that I can let slide because storyline stuff. Why did Kai and Tai
Yeah.
keep running out? Like, if you can't do anything with them, how is this any better than just letting them sit in the back?
It gives the fans memories.
I don't know, because they like all they went out to do is get punked, and that's it. Like, they just won't get them over.
Not really, but I don't know. I can't justify it.
So anyway, the 2022 Rumble.
2022 Rumble, yeah. Um, yeah, those were the standouts on the men's side. I can't remember anyone else doing anything of particular note. Women's Rumble starts off with Melina and Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks enters at number one wearing this god awful cosplay of some sort, and
And
she
Madara.
always looks nasty. So
Wasn't she Madara? Or who was Madara? I forget. No, it was
I don't
another
know what
women's
Madara
wrestler.
is.
One of the women's wrestlers and entered as a Naruto character for some reason this year.
I wouldn't have known. I don't watch Naruto.
But I don't remember who it was, but they had like they had this samurai armor, this red samurai armor inspired gear, and that's also that's also pretty much the same outfit that Madara wears in at the end of Naruto.
Ah, what a nerd. She should be fired. But yeah, opens up with Sasha Banks at number one and Melina at number two, and Melina gets eliminated in like 18 seconds, and the Rumble is downhill from there. I tuned out. Um, let's
So
see.
let's talk about the actual Rumble, the Royalist. Did you even watch
I
it?
actually haven't watched Royalist Rumble
Ah,
yet. I know Swagger won it. I've
I
watched
watched it
every
live.
Rumble leading up to it. Oh, good for you. Good for you. And
Yeah,
I watched the runner-up Royalist, but I have not actually watched the actual Royalist. So yeah, definitely on my to-do list.
yeah. There's a couple of good moments. There's more Undertakers happening in the Royalist. Like
More Undertakers?
do you remember the spot where that Undertaker did it in the first Rumble this year?
No, I don't.
Undertaker eliminated himself. He,
Oh,
he came in and then he did the Undertaker dive,
right,
and that's it.
right.
Then he was out.
That was Day of Reckoning, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple more of those happening, and then Jim Ross happens. The match stops. Jim Ross enters the ring, and then the match stops. His presence is too much for the like I think 6 or 7 other wrestlers to handle.
Understandable.
Yeah, and yeah, it was fine. The earliest I didn't like it because Swagger won. I don't like Swagger, but
Oh, I love Swagger.
I was going to say over that I liked him during this part, but I don't actually think there was a point where I liked him because he just felt like I get his gimmick, but a lot of the moves that he chose to be his signatures just weren't interesting. Like the fucking
Yeah,
like the buckle. I wanted to call it the buckle bomb, and technically they may have even called it that at one point, but it wasn't an actual buckle bomb. It wasn't a power bomb to the turnbuckle. It was
yeah. It was him jumping off from the second turnbuckle and doing a
yeah.
body splash.
Yeah, and that was the lamest shit. Like it's lame when like fat wrestlers do it, but at least the fat wrestlers are fat, so you can believe that it hurts.
Right.
Swagger doing it like Swagger doing Swagger doing that to me, it just like I don't know. It doesn't didn't have an impact where that was believable, even though like a guy jumping on you would probably hurt, but like a guy,
Probably.
but if that same guy can pick you up and throw you, that will probably hurt more. Is my point.
Probably.
And the God Wrench power bomb just like I don't know I suppose the thing with that is that like it just felt like a normal power bomb. The ending.
Yeah.
But
Completely
yeah,
understandable.
the ankle lock was fine.
Yeah.
Out of all of
That
his
was his best move, and he took that from Angle.
yeah. But yeah. So aside from wrestling, what did you do? I guess aside
aside
from
from
going around one.
wrestling, aside from wrestling, I don't think I did literally anything else outside of maybe Dead by Daylight last night with Mike Soon and Clown, and Alex joined in as well. Well, not joined into the game, but joined into the Discord. Um, let's see. I played a lot of Civilization. Didn't get around to recording it though, unfortunately, and I actually started tinkering with the files to manipulate the start biases of some of the civs because the Aztec, I currently have a mod for them that gives them a unique improvement that is placed on freshwater tiles, but they don't have a spawn bias for freshwater tiles at all. So I had to adjust that myself. And I was very proud of myself for learning how to do it. And now the game will never be the same because I'm going to wreck everything. The end.
Nice. So yeah, is it all you done?
I do believe so, yes.
All right. Now let's see what I did. Well, I guess let's start with the one that will probably be the fastest one over. So, Smite season 9 released, which I think I've
It
said last time,
certainly did.
and yeah, things are happening because of how the item balance changed. Tangzaburo can happen.
What's a
It
Bora? Tanksa?
Tangzaburo. Yeah,
Oh,
Tangzaburo.
very good.
I've been
Very, very nice.
I've had multiple matches where I went where we were missing a guardian. And I was like, oh, all right, fuck y'all, because three people lock in hunters multiple times.
Naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the fourth person locks in a mage, and I'm like, okay, fuck y'all, thanks, bro. And the thing is, sometimes only the first three people lock in squishies immediately, and the last person waits for me. And sometimes I actually just feel like Tangzaburo. So I highlight Hog Guardian and then pick Tangzaburo. And there were multiple times where people thought that I told them to pick Guardians. That's the last person, I guess.
Right.
And they were mistaken. So multiple times I have out-mitigated Guardians because they were building wrong, I guess. Because if they weren't building wrong, then I shouldn't out-mitigate a Guardian as a hunter.
Probably
even if
not.
even
Probably
if I'm
not.
building tank, you know. But yeah, there was a match with a Yamojo where the Yamoja tried their hardest to actually, be tanking stuff and all that. But because Danzaburo has movement options and Yamoja has a movement ability, but it's less it's more fiddly.
Yeah.
So basically, I had an easier time being in battles because I didn't have to worry about the water things throwing me all over the place and using that for my movement. Which is how
Yep.
it's probably how I mitigated more damage, and I also had more like the most assists in that match. Funnily enough,
I believe it.
and then another one is there was this Sylvanus who like that was a good team, or that was a good Sylvanus at least, because the person locked in Sylvanus after I went with Tangzaburo. They spent the first minute of the game, no, not the first minute, but the first half minute of the game in spawn, probably trying to see if I actually commit to building tank. And once they saw that I did actually commit to building tank and playing tank, they built like ability based magic ADC Sylvanus. Like the actually most realistic hunter Sylvanus you can get out of the game right now, I think.
I like it.
Because like I don't think you can actually do attack speed Sylvanus. But you probably could. It just wouldn't work, I don't think. I would need to check.
Yeah, I'm
But
not sure how that would go down.
But yeah, it led to this funny thing where the Sylvanus was our hunter, even though we already had two others. But the Sylvanus was our hunter, and I was our tank. And yeah, like Tangzaburo works too well. Like it works to a surprising amount because like I don't know what does it. It may be one of the new glyphs. Like it may be one of the glyphs that I forget the name of it. The magical aura, the defensive
Yeah.
aura. Yeah,
Yeah.
that item got a glyph that all physical defense is also converted into magical defense. So that may be what does it. But for whatever reason, I actually am not dying usually.
That's
Even
nice.
as
I like
Tangzaburo.
not dying.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, once we play Smite again together, we need to see if Tangzaburo can actually stand up against competent people because like solo queuing makes it so you don't necessarily get to go up against people who know what they're doing because
Yeah.
yeah, But if they're in a team, then the game favors people who are in a team, which means that they will be talking, which means they will probably be more competent because they have more information to work off of.
Yep.
So yeah, that. Also, they announced that well, I did actually watch their tease for Shiva or whatever. They
Oh,
showed off Shiva, and he seems interesting. Like I feel like you like him because he's a healer tank warrior.
oh yeah, that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, and he also his ult is dancing, and you get to tell him which dance moves to do.
Even better. I'm sold.
Now, one thing that you may not like though is his passive is a stance switch. So depending on what you do, there's this counter at the health bar that goes up and down in a health circle. And if it reaches the health, he switches over to his other state, and it basically like he doesn't switch stances as much as he switches passives, pretty much.
Ah,
And like I think depending on which passive he's in, so do his abilities change. So like if he's in defensive stance, then he gives buffs to his team, and if he's in aggressive stance, then he gives debuffs to the enemy team. Is how made him.
I see.
And I just hit the microphone. I'm not sure if it got picked up, but anyway,
I didn't hear anything, but you never know.
yeah. So that uh, but one big thing that they announced with the Shiva update, which will be in like 2 weeks, I think, is everybody will be getting a welcome battle pass or whatever the hell from the which that's for a month from the first time they log in after this update, and it gives them a full free god. Any of the gods you can pick one for free.
I like it.
Yeah, you also get Nuva and Curb and I forget who else for free, and also skins for all those characters. And then the final tier thing is just unlock any god that you want.
Very nice.
Yeah, but you only have a month to do it. So hey,
That's fair.
yeah. So those are the big Smite news.
We do like the big Smite news around here.
Yeah, have you even downloaded the update? Because oh, by the way, yeah,
Yes.
that's okay. That is probably something I should tell you though, or I guess not anymore. But here's something that you might need to know is that if you want to play Smite together, this update is 16 gig on PC and like 40 on consoles.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a pretty big download size right there.
yeah. I pretty much had to re-download the game because the game is also 40 gigs, and
Yeah.
that is legitimately the reason though. Like the reason the reason this update was so big is because they actually had to like on PC they could just replace some files and then have those do their thing. On consoles, it's harder apparently to do fragmented stuff like that. So you legitimately had to re-download the whole game once the game deleted itself and reinstalled itself, pretty much as an update because of I forget what it was exactly that they changed that required this big of a oh yeah the crits.
Oh
That's
yeah.
probably it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it for Smite. For other video games, I finished Assassin's Creed 2. This was my seventh playthrough, I think, but I'm not sure. I like after the 20th, no, after the 15th, I want to say after the 15th playthrough of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I stopped counting most of my playthroughs because who cares? It's like too many to count. Like yeah. So I finished Assassin's Creed 2 once again. It's all right. Like it's Assassin's Creed 2, I played Assassin's Creed 2 the first time after I've already played Brotherhood and 3. So Assassin's Creed 2 to me is just like, here's Brotherhood but with more padding, more or less.
Right.
Because like there is genuinely not an exorbitant amount of things that set the two apart. but they're enough things that it matters to me, and I just don't enjoy Assassin's Creed 2 as much as I enjoy Brotherhood because of it.
Yeah.
At the same time, like I would like it's once again it's a thing of like with Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't mind recording any of them because I am I am the local role master because I don't believe either of you know Assassin's Creed lore better than I do. So technically
Absolutely not.
technically that by default makes me the lore master of
Very
the group.
true.
But yeah, like you know, I know lot of the Assassin's Creed lore that at least when it concerns the games and not the extended universe stuff with the comics and shit. Because like fuck reading the Assassin's Creed comics. I tried.
We tried. We failed. We left. The end.
Yeah, and it would also just be funny for like it would be funny to make fun of a lot of the shortcomings of it overall because there's a couple.
I
then
believe it.
once I was finished with that, I started up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and oh boy, it already feels better. Like it is definitely an easier game, but uh, it's a thing of like with the fighting mechanic. The fighting mechanic in Assassin's Creed 2 felt a bit clunky with its timing. Like it required very strict timing, and it was more challenging. But with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it feels the fact that the timing is so lenient and uh, easy to get a hang of feels like they realized that the fighting mechanics sucked ass, and so you just spend as little time actually fighting people as you can. Like you know, people said that this fighting mechanics is sucks and the new one is better. I disagree. I think both of them suck for different reasons. like
Fair enough.
like that's the thing. Like I'm not as much defending the old fighting mechanic as it being fine because it wasn't the most engaging fighting mechanic, and you know the boss fights were downright painful in Assassin's Creed 2. At the same time, most fights are downright painful in the new trilogy because of how it's how it was badly executed, more or less.
Right.
So like both of them are bad, just in different ways.
Fair enough.
So there's that. What else did I do for video games? One of the free games for PlayStation this month is the Borderlands 2 D&D DLC as a standalone
Ah.
thing, and I booted it up. Like I actually gave it a chance. I was like, okay, I never played this DLC even though I technically own it, but I never played this DLC because I couldn't be arsed. But it's a standalone thing, so maybe I can actually give it a shot. Because I was like, you know, like because like I enjoyed the pre-sequel. I actually played through. I was actually able to finish the pre-sequel without hitting the game immediately. But
Yeah.
by the way, recently, okay, not recently, but do you remember how I played through Borderlands 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that took me I don't know how many years because apparently my save that got lost to time on Xbox from the original from the 360 version of Borderlands 2. That save was on the mission that's before the last mission. Like it was the penultimate mission, and apparently
Right.
that's when the save file decided to just get fucking lost.
That's convenient. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it took me like I don't know I think like 5 or 7 years to beat Borderlands 2 after owning it. Because fuck that. It took me that long to forget about freaking where that save point or where that freaking thing was. Actually, be able to try to at least stomach the game, even if I couldn't at the end. But yeah, so I boot this game up, and I'm immediately just like, oh, Borderlands, right? And then I just quit out of the game.
Fair enough.
Like I just really don't like Borderlands. I guess I cannot play Borderlands.
Yeah, I can't say I'm particularly fond of it either.
Yeah, what we need to do is we need to get together again and try to shoot Borderlands again. Even though the reason we stopped shooting Borderlands is because none of us talked because we were so bored that we couldn't make commentary. Like somehow for us for our group, Borderlands is somehow the one game where it's not more fun even with your friends. Because it's instead of us joking around and shit, we just all shut up.
Yep.
But yeah, so that and then currently, like it's freaking as we're talking, it's still open. I am playing UFC 4, which is also free.
You.
I played the first one, I think. I mean, like at this point, I think I played the first one, the second one, and then this one. I skipped 3, I guess. But in every game, I make a boxer character because I don't actually want to engage with the mechanics. Like, just give me a guy that punches good, so I can punch good, and then people die.
Yeah.
And like in the first game, I remember I made a guy with like with no defenses or anything. He just he just threw punches really fast and really hard, and that was fun because if people like if someone was tough, then he was dead. Like that character was a glass cannon. But every match started off with a fake out, like the like touching gloves things that boxers do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, every match started with that. Where it was a fake out, and he just started like doing rushes on the enemy immediately, and the enemy died in approximately 5 seconds in most cases.
I
And
like it.
I enjoyed the game because of that dumb bullshit. Like I don't care about like MMA. I don't care about simulation games, but being able to freaking do auras on people in a simulation game and actually win somehow is dumb enough that I can actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it seems like, well, I'm not, I can't be sure, but it seems like you can't adjust your stats anymore to that point where I can just like take out all of the strength in the legs and shit and just put it into speed and power for punches. But my current guy has a similar game plan where instead of doing rushes, it's just spacing and overhead attacks, and people don't block overheads for some reason usually, so people die in about 4 overheads.
Fair enough.
The best part though is the game is all like it's simulation, so it's like, oh, you can get injured sparring with people, and like don't go too hard in sparring, whatever. I did a spar match getting ready for whatever fight. And then the next week, because it simulates with weeks instead of days, next week, I go into the sparring menu, and the sparring menu says, partner injured,
Ah.
so I can't spar. So that was funny.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's what you'd expect, honestly, from a simulation like the MMA game, I think. I mean, my experience is mostly just these games. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I need to point that out. This game is stuck in the fucking past for two big reasons. Subtitles are not an option. Or if they are, I couldn't fucking find them.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, which renders this game PS2 era.
Yeah.
And to drive that point home, if you go into the video settings and you go to brightness, the game has reference sheets, and it tells you to adjust your TV settings, which also renders it PS2 era.
Yeah.
Because people a lot of times try to insult video games by saying that they're like PS2 era or prior because of their graphics or whatever. No, this game is PS2 era because that was the last time that lacking these options was acceptable. And even then, it was
Yeah.
kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then as for what else? What else did I do? Let's see. Well, I did make the technical difficulties thing for one of our videos, which will probably be used henceforth until I get sick of it and make a new one, more or less.
Nice. Nice.
Or did you see
I
it?
think I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, I made that, and then I guess I can also post the sheet because like I don't like. Have you done work for like video related stuff or shit like this? Because let me tell you, it's nothing. It is just drawing, but it's not just drawing somehow.
Uh huh.
And I guess I'll post it into text in recordings. But here's the ref sheet for the new set of like freaking stills for the reviews.
Oh, I love the angry flaming eye one.
Ah yeah, that is the best one. Also, do you ever just accidentally make a fucking logo? Because that's pretty much what happened. Like I took the basic idea of how I signed the freaking the drawings and just tried to put that into uh how I stylize my name. And if I was a literature review channel, I would actually use that as a logo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this set of stuff is better. I don't actually have the sheets for the older ones because it wasn't this well made, and I didn't save them because of that. But like compare the freaking like the angry one. I guess I'll send that one. Like there is a noticeable increase in quality, I'd say, but I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now one problem is that in the old one, I had two angry ones. One that's just like slightly pissed off, and one that's this one. I forgot about that. So I had to I had to work around the limitations in one of the videos that used that one, which was great. Because hey, I am not going back and making this like okay. So I actually do want to discuss about what makes this harder for me, which is consistency. If you wanna do character art for videos like this, and you want different poses, you want consistency between the poses, so it doesn't look like a different character every fucking pose.
Right.
You probably have a consistent enough art style that you can pull that shit off pretty easily. I don't have the experience required for consistency. So what I had to do to make things consistent is I had to sketch out the skeleton for one of these. Then I had to copy the skeleton and adjust the parts that need adjusting for the poses. Do that for all of these. Then do the sketch version of one of them. Copy that. Adjust all the parts that don't apply anymore. Rinse and repeat for all of them. Same for the line art. Same for the coloring. Same for the shading. Okay, no, not the shading. For the shading, I was like, fuck it, and I just did it normally because I couldn't be asked to copy and change the shading. Like it would have been the same amount of work as just doing it normally. So I was like, hey, whatever. That amount of inconsistency is fine because shading can change because of lighting, whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you don't have a consistent art style that you can actually pull off sheet work like this, then you have to do it like you're doing it for like factory work more or less, which makes it hard. Which makes it harder for me because I don't like it. It's a really a big pain in the ass to try and replicate lines when you can't
Uh
fucking
huh.
see them. And then
Yeah, I imagine so. It's like drawing blind.
so it was a thing of like, okay, so I need to put the copied line art, for example. I need to take the copied line art, put it exactly in the same spot on the sketch layer as it is on the other one, and then I need to delete half of it so I can redraw the arms, for example, and then redraw the half that I had to delete for it to actually make sense. And for two of these, for the angry one and for the sad one, I just didn't even fucking bother. I just copied the head and then just redrew all of it because fuck it. The pose is different enough that that made sense to me. Similarly, in the confused one, which is the bottom right one, the second one, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
for that one, that was particularly hard because I only had to adjust the neck. But let me tell you, like a lot of people have problem with drawing necks. I have a problem with drawing necks with shit around them. But okay, no, the problem isn't drawing shit necks with shit around them because that's technically easier. The problem is drawing necks that are visible while also having shit around them. And
Yeah.
considering that that's the style I went for, trying to adjust the neck was a pain in the ass. Because like the problem with that, which I'm sure you know, but I guess for any of the audience, all of the non-audience that we have, like
Right, all of you one persons out there.
yeah, all of you, me that watches these videos, like the problem with adjusting shit like this is that like I don't know how it is for you or how it was for you when you were learning how to draw, or when you initially starting to learn how to draw. I guess is a better way to put it because technically you're always learning, but whatever, fuck.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, like I don't know how it was for you, but for me the problem with it is that I want to draw an actual neck, and I also want to draw the thing that's around the neck separately, which leads to this like big giraffe neck.
Leads to a big what neck?
Giraffe. Giraffe.
Oh, giraffe
Yeah.
neck.
And like even if I try, like I know that that's wrong. So I try to to push the two together because that is literally how space works. But
Yeah.
no matter how hard I try, there's a bit of giraffe neck. No matter what I do. And then also, I wanted to do this before the 200th podcast because I wanted to make it a thing that every 100 podcasts we change logos because whatever it's 2 years, it is fine. But
Yeah.
we ran out of time, and well, it's not not just that we ran out of time. It's that around the time of the 200 podcast, both of you were busy, so we didn't have time to sit down and do like just freaking art sessions for
Yeah.
me to at least get the general idea together. But I do still want to do that. Either way, I did come up with an idea for the new Shut Your Mouth Lounge logo. What do you think?
I think that would open us up for a copyright lawsuit right there.
Possibly. So for the viewers, I just copied the Pizza Hut logo, but with S Hut because hey, that's a callback to the first time we changed logos.
Kind of.
No, it genuinely is. But the Pizza Hut logo is not that was my idea, but S Hut is a callback to the first time we changed logos because I remember while we were doing the kerning for the letters, I just made the letters go really far apart, and then all that was on screen from Shut Your Mouth Lounge was just S Hut.
Yep.
And so that is who we are. We are the S Hut.
Never forget.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing an actual genuinely sitting down and trying to do a design session for the logos, but like I have no fucking ideas. That is pretty much why I want to do the sit down sessions, so y'all can have ideas and
Right.
I can
Yeah.
try to make them happen.
Yeah. Bounce ideas off each other, rather.
Yeah. And then what else did I do? Hmm. One thing that I wanted to say is I'm sorry for the minor spoiler about Spider-Man last week. I've just
Oh no,
like,
that's fine.
but like one of the reasons I suppose I'm so like I don't give a shit about spoilers as much is because like my whole family is that way. Like my sister is watching Naruto because she watched it with she watched it as well when we were kids, and now she's getting around to finish, or she wanted to get around to finishing it for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
she was at work and she called home to ask if Asuma dies. Like she
Well,
was what?
does she?
Yeah, he does. But like
Ah,
she's watching the episode, or one of the episodes leading up to that moment, and it's a big plot moment, and she calls home to give her spoilers. Because the way we interact with media like this is, uh, I guess more about the journey and how it's executed rather than the actual things that happen as much.
right.
So like if like hmm, how can I best put this? Like for example, we used to watch comedy movies a lot together, and obviously I wouldn't know what's happening because I hadn't seen them yet. But my mother has, for example. So she'd be like, here's a joke coming up, and it's concerning this, or look in the when we were watching Leslie Nielsen movies. She wouldn't actually say what's happening that's funny, but she would be like, okay, pay attention to the back.
Ah,
So that's pretty much how I am with spoilers. Is I give enough I can give enough info to actually discuss things without spoiling like actually big plot moments. Like
yeah.
but it does lead to things like the thing last week I didn't think was important enough, and I actually like I genuinely don't know anything more than what I did say.
Right, right.
Like if I remember correctly, I was going I do this thing where I take the information I just said and then try to say it with more words to bet for time. And that's pretty much what when W cut me off while I was doing that to bet for time. It was funny, but yeah. Uh, oh yeah, I remembered something. So
Something.
yes, let's see if this will tag the recording. Maybe, but I have actually been gathering memes for the past 4 months.
Oh
Probably.
no.
Don't worry, there's only like three. They're not even that good. Like, they're not even that good. I just want them off of my list, more or less. Let's see. Hmm. All right, there's two that are like, well, I wouldn't call them good. There's one that I would consider good. There's one that I think is funny in context for us because I feel like this is how y'all view me. This for the viewers.
that is a good meme.
Yeah. So for the viewers, it's just the wolf copy pasta, which is inside of you. There are two wolves. One of them says less horny. One of the other one says horny. And the actually funny one, or at least the one that I think is funny, is this one. I just love the expression in the third panel.
Yeah.
Like it's that's what says it to me. Like this person's art style is very Ren and Stimpy.
Right,
So
right.
it's nostalgic, and the expression is great. Like and like the joke is not funny, but the joke isn't necessarily funny, but the expression, like the expression sells it for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming to my TED talk about comedy. But yeah, recently there is a funny thing. Like, I try not to pick up furry shit too much on the freaking podcast anymore, especially, but just overall because I figure y'all don't give a shit. But recently there has been a funny arc, or at least an amusing arc, which I don't know how active you are in subreddits, or like by active I mean how much you actually browse them, because I'm not active technically either. I only lurk, but subreddits usually
That's a question for Alex. I'm not like I don't look at Reddit at all.
uh yeah, I usually look at Reddit for news, and that's about it. Like just video gaming news,
Right.
because it's less of a hassle than actually following people who work around that stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
But the uh like subreddits can usually have arcs. It is the best way to put it, where one sort of posts take over the subreddit, and it's usually bad, just in general. Like if because it's it's one sort of content taking over the whole thing for, I don't know, like a week or a month. And WW could tell you about this, because the best friends subreddit is prone to having arcs that are bad and overstay their welcome, which would be a day.
A
But
day.
yeah, but that because like these arcs can just be like any joke, and people run those jokes to the ground in a day, regardless of subreddit usually, because that's just how people work. People want to get in on the funny, and then people get in on the funny, and it gets too much funny.
Right.
And there's actually been a there has been a thing going on in one of the furry subreddits, because a lot of the content posted uh in the furry meme subreddit is like craft porn or just straight up porn, and there's rules in place to make it so people who don't want to look at it can just not. Because like if that's something that I need to commend the mod team on, is that if someone posts porn without tagging it as such, they're getting banned. Their post is removed within the hour, and if it happens more than once, then they're banned.
That's fair
they
moderation.
yeah they,
Yeah.
they they take that shit seriously.
I should hope so.
Yeah. But so recently there's been a back and forth about whether or not the sheer amount of porn being posted is fine or not. And it's been really funny seeing these back and forth, or amusing seeing these back and forth arguments going between two extremes, when like the answer lies in the middle. Like sex jokes can be funny, but you know maybe post less wolf dick without a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been an interesting freaking going on that has freaking taken over my news feed for some reason.
The news feed.
Yeah, but it's like, oh freaking Shane McMahon got fucking dumped. Whatever video
That
game
is true,
news.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever video game news. And then the next post, could you please fucking stop posting about Wolf Dick for at least a day?
You better rest, people. Come on now.
Yeah. Thankfully, like because of both the moderation and how Reddit is set up, like Reddit has a thing where you can just turn off you not safe for work posts. So
Ah,
I actually haven't had to see Wolf Dick for the past 3 months. Thankfully,
that's cool.
yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks because there are some jokes that get flagged as not safe for work, and so I don't see them. But hey, it's you know it's a sacrifice I have to make if I don't want to see
Yeah.
if I don't want to see more Wolf Dick.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Did I do anything else that is actually of note? I don't think so. So I suppose you can call it a podcast.
All right.
I hmm. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, it's awkward. I don't like it.
All right, bye, say pink.
Bye, say pink.